In this video, I want to talk about 7 things that you need to try in order to get rid of your plantar fasciitis. So let's go. Thanks for checking out the channel. My name's John. I'm the head therapist here at John W Sports Injury. And if you haven't been here before, I want to let you know that we want to do 3 simple things. We want to be helping you to understand your body so you can get rid of any pain, injury or weakness. Ultimately, go on and smash those health and well-being goals. So today we're talking about a common issue or condition, and that is plantar fasciitis. Now let me briefly mention what plantar fasciitis is, but it's a pain on the underside of the foot. So very much on the base of the foot. If this is the base of the foot, we have a layer of thick fascia on the bottom of the foot. Fascia is a structure that surrounds all of our muscles, and this is a particularly thick part of it. And what can happen is that we get excessive force going through that area that can cause pain and dysfunction in the area. I call this the hobble to the bathroom condition. Why do I call it that? Well, it can typically be very painful when we've been laying, sitting, sleeping for a period of time. So when I've suffered this condition, I remember my wander to the bathroom in the morning to be very uncomfortable. But then once I got going, the pain got slightly easier. But if you're here at this video, it may well be that you are a sufferer of plantar fasciitis and then are fully aware of how this is. It's a very painful condition on the underside of the foot, moving up towards the base of the heel area. But what I want to be talking about are 7 things that you need to try in order to get rid of your plantar fasciitis. And it may be that it's 1 or 2 of these things that are helpful. But what you need to do is make sure you're trying everything in order to get rid of this troublesome condition. So let's dive into those 7 things. Now, the first things are very much going to be about trying to improve your symptoms and get rid of your pain. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can actually develop and return to previous sport injury and sport exercise levels and prevent the risk of re-injury. And then finally, if none of the first 5 things are working, a couple of things that are perhaps a little bit different, but you can try in order to get rid of this. So hang around to the end of the video for that one. So first up, we're going to be talking about the good old ball rolling. So what we want to be doing here is taking a ball of some density. So this could be a hockey ball, a cricket ball, a golf ball. All these types of things work really well. And what you want to be doing is placing the ball on the underside of the foot and looking to roll through that area. Now you could typically spend 2 to 5 minutes working into those areas. You want to find the sore points and you want to look to literally roll your foot and the ball through that area. Think of the fascia like a lump of dough that we want to be rolling out. Another tip is sometimes people benefit from using something like a frozen bottle of water because the cooling effect can be helping with the anti-inflammatory as well as killing 2 birds with 1 stone by making sure that we're getting the rolling in at the same time. The second thing that we want to be talking about is wearing comfortable footwear. So we know that this condition can become particularly problematic if we're wearing not very supportive shoes or even bare feet. So make sure that you've got a comfortable pair of shoes on as much as possible. Avoid things like flip-flops or walking around the home bare feet while you're getting over the condition. What we want to be doing is finding things that are comfortable and supportive to help calm your symptoms down. Now let's move on to some other things that might start to develop the condition and rehabilitate the condition a little bit better. So firstly, stretching. Now the fascia is a long line of tissue or part of a long line of tissue that runs up at your back of your leg, particularly in the calf area being problematic. We have 2 muscles in that calf area called the gastrocnemius and the soleus. So we want to be stretching both of those muscles, as you can see here. The key points to note here are the back leg is the leg that's being stretched, and we want to keep that heel flat on the floor. You may have noticed that the difference between the 2 stretches are that one, the leg is straight at the back, and in the second one, the leg is bent. What we're doing here is we're working both of those muscles in the area, the soleus and the gastrocnemius, and this is something that is often commonly missed. People might come to me and say, I've been stretching my calf and it's still not making any difference. But when we actually try both stretches, they realize they've only been doing one and that the other muscle might be the problematic one. So these static stretches you want to be holding for 30 seconds, and you can be doing these every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, to try and settle those symptoms. And what we're looking to do here is take away some of the force that is being applied to the bottom of the foot. So let's move on to talking about strengthening the area. So what we want to be doing here is slowly looking to strengthen up those muscles that we've just been stretching so that they are strong enough for the demand, so that if we're out walking or doing excessive exercise and things, that they're not actually tightening up too much, causing force in the area. So this is where, again, we want to find a level of exercise that's really comfortable. But you could start with something like some calf raises, some two-leg calf raises, where you're looking to just go up onto your toes and then slowly lower on the way back down. I would only go up as far as pain allows and then slowly lower down. If these exercises become simple, we can then take these into the the single leg version, where you're looking to do the same exercise but just on one leg. You could start with a good leg, if there is a good leg, if you're only suffering the condition in one side, and then compare to the other. With these exercises, I wouldn't be looking to do more than about 6 repetitions with 3 sets. And I would also only look to do these once a day and do these every other day. The reason being every other day is the day in between those exercises will allow you to see if that's been a problem at all. So that's our first 4 tips so far. The 5th thing that we want to be making sure that we're doing is to be varying our load a little bit. So what do I mean by that? Is we want to be analysing perhaps how many steps we're taking, how many miles we're running, things that might be aggravating factors. And what we want to do is we want to start loading the area as quickly as possible. So once we've settled the symptoms, perhaps with things like the ball rolling and the stretching and things, and the condition's starting to feel better, then we really want to try and reintroduce exercise, but at a progressive level. So things like monitoring your steps can be really helpful. And at the end of the day, noting your pain and finding that correct level for you, and then slowly looking to increase that amount of steps. But having an understanding of the steps or the miles or whatever it is that you may be doing will allow you to initially strip the exercise levels right back, but then slowly reintroduce those in a progressive way without aggravating your symptoms. So that's our first 5 tips and some of the 5 things to be really mindful of and will form part of your rehabilitation. 2 others to finish out that perhaps may not have been considered. Number 6 is around weight management. And what we know here is that the more weight that we carry is the more force that's going to be going down into the ground. We're going to get bigger ground reaction force and puts more pressure on the plantar fascia. So if you have chronic plantar fasciitis, it may be worth potentially looking to lose some weight. Now, people often say to me, well, you know, I might not be anybody that needs to lose weight, or I might be somebody who I believe needs to lose a lot of weight. But actually, it really doesn't matter. What we know is that the little amount of weight that we can be putting through the area, the better, as long as we're in safe, healthy values. So it might be something to consider alongside your rehabilitation, is perhaps just monitoring diet and things and making sure that we are having some appropriate weight management in place. And the final tip is a different type of treatment that we call shockwave therapy. This can be very effective, and the research shows that it's a very effective way of helping to cure plantar fasciitis. Some great results from shockwave therapy in the area. Something that we administer in clinic and we've seen good results from. But again, if you haven't tried shockwave therapy and these first 6 more conservative measures haven't worked for you, shockwave therapy might be something to consider in order to help with your plantar fasciitis. So that was a quick whistle-stop tour around plantar fasciitis. I have another video around it that perhaps goes into the condition in a little bit more detail that you'll see at the end of this video. But if you found that to be helpful, then do me a favour and smash that like button, because that shows me that this is the type of stuff you want to be seeing, but also it's going to help others to see that. And again, if there's been a tip through here that's been helpful for you and one that you haven't tried yet, let me know in the comments, and particularly if it's been beneficial for you, because that'll be showing others perhaps that's something they should be trying as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, because then I will be able to let you know when we got a new video for you. And here's this other video detailing a little bit more detail about plantar fasciitis, but I look forward to seeing you on the next video.